Working with the body work some more here. What we're doing is trying to find low spots and high spots in the paint and the body. So what you do is you take, you can use any sort of primer, but because this card's already kind of a primer color, I just use black. You just kind of mist the paint on, and then you come back over it with a long, flat sanding block, like this one here. And then you just kind of go, crosshatch pattern here. And as flat as you can. And then it'll look like that when you're sanding it off. And right off the bat, I mean, look how, ooh, that's hot. Sun's on it. Look at how well this little drip here has been highlighted by that little method there. And then it's still a little hard to see on camera, but there's a couple little lines in here where you can see that that was a low point in the paint. But yeah, well, that's how you do it there, and that's how we're gonna do to the most of the car. Still haven't decided how we're getting the paint off yet, though. Alright, here, so we're getting into it a little bit more. Some of you may have realized the mistake I've made here, and others may not. But the mistake here is that underneath this gray paint is a black paint, and I'm using black paint to highlight the low spots. So as I'm sanding and I get through all the gray paint, that's the the base coat here, the actual color, I'm finding that I'm going right down into the paint that's underneath it. It still shows pretty well, though. Obviously now these are the high points, and the low points are now the gray paint, which is okay, but something you gotta be looking for, I suppose, as you get through it. Over here, though, we can see these swirlies here. Let's focus a little better on that. Yeah, these swirlies, that's from a random orbital sound over. So there's Bondo in here, which is kind of what we expected, especially with what we can see right here. So that's nothing really we didn't expect. It's just kind of, it's just sort of interesting, and you realize, oh shit, you know what? The paint underneath the paint is the same color as the primer that I was using. But anyway, so we did find, so obviously, in this shot here, we found low points and high points. The high points in this case here, because I can feel it and I can probably see it better than the video. The high points are gray, the low points are black. So that was some sort of weird paint touch-up thing, and I mean, it's pretty evident we feel it. And you can see I've circled it because I circled it earlier. I saw it with my eyes. I found another drip here. That might have been the same drip I pointed out. We've got some really badly applied Bondo, it looks like, right down here. Looks like they just kind of went with a very not clean blade, spatula something another. Yes, anyway, so that's what's going on there. The edges of the little blade had little divots in it, and you can see that here as we sand that back. So, we've got some more stuff to be doing, but we're getting there. Here was that patch where we could see there was Bondo, and obviously there's a hole. What did we expect? But what rather interestingly, it was still hot. There is this little line here. You can kind of see it goes up the length of this, and I kind of wonder if that's a piece of patch metal right there that they put in to fix the hole. And then if so, why didn't they do this area? And it is rather consistent. Either way, that's going to have to be pounded out with a hammer and made a little bit flatter. And then we came over here, and there's no Bondo along this wheel arch, which is really surprising. I fully expected there'd be a lot more Bondo. But it was just, some thick paint, so that shouldn't be too hard to fix. We'll have to really get in there and cut all this rust out, but it's not as bad as I had expected. And then down here, well, it's a lot. What did we expect? This is right where the wheel throws up all the mud and all the dirt, so it's going to be a lot of fun, and I could see that too, so I'm not really surprised. I'd also imagine that's what this is here, is partially Bondo. So, really, I mean, I'm more and more surprised of how unrusty the car is for how it was described to me. I mean, I still have yet to try to cut out these sills here. Yeah, that'll be a day. One problem at a time. Alright, so this is interesting. This is the first time I've ever seen it, so I could be wrong. But do we see the discoloration between this metal here and this metal here? And then you can see there's some deep scratches in this metal here. And then there was Bondo put over the top of this. That's another clue. You got a little bit of Bondo in this corner where it comes up to here. And this appears to be peeling up. Let's do some more investigating. But what I believe is going on here, I think this is lead loading, I believe they call it. Because this was the better option than Bondo and the older option. So before they had, you know, Bondo and all the chemicals they used to make it, they put lead into the metal where the dent was, because it melts at a low temperature, lower than steel, so it wouldn't melt the steel. And you put it in there and it would adhere well, and then you could, so it's so soft, you could easily go over it, and it's still too hot to touch. But you could easily go over it with some files and other sandpaper and such, and file it nice and smooth. This isn't very smooth. I can see that, you can see it just in the light as you go like that. There we go. That's why they put Bondo over it in the end, I suppose. So behind here, there's a nasty secret. Either a rust hole right all the way through, or it just cracked. It's a unibody, and I would not be surprised if that was a common point for cracking in the body. But yeah, we'll go get a steel screwdriver, and we'll see if we can etch into that, and that'll tell us if it's lead or not. Alright, so here we go. I figured it out. It is lead. Just take a screwdriver and just easily, well, let's see. There you go. That's a little better for you. Just easily make scratches in that. Or this is steel over here, and, you know, doesn't really, I mean, you know, you see scratches, but, I mean, this just feels totally different. Doesn't make that screechy sound, and it's very, very soft. So this is lead all up in here. What right there? What's right there? This looks like lead too. Yeah, it's lead. So that's lead up in here also. So we gotta figure out why there's lead up in there. See what we can do about that. Alright, so after a little bit more investigating, this isn't all lead like I thought it was. So that's my bad. I'll have to fix that. The top portion is lead, but the rest of it is not. It looks like they were trying to cover up this pitting from where I imagine all the water rolls down off of the top there. There's still a significant amount of flex to that. Problem for future us. Anyway, so the rust came back, obviously, and it lifted the lead up off of the steel, causing it to look bad. So that's why we had to remove that lead. And then I did that a little bit just to help me out, and so it's not so much of a, you know, such an edge. I'll have to kind of come back and kind of sand that down a little bit, and then I'll come in with some body filler at some point and fix that up. But this rust has got to be taken care of before we do that. Otherwise, I'll do the exact same thing with Bondo. You know, unfortunately, I don't know the art of lead loading. Apparently it's quite the skill, and I don't have that particular skill, so we're going to use Bondo. Modern day Bondo is pretty good. Used to use lead loading as the better alternative to Bondo, but Bondo's gotten a lot better since it first came out, so it's not a big deal anymore. As long as you have it on bare metal, it adheres much better than the old stuff. Alright, so we're going to try and tackle this little lump here. Actually, is this lead? Where, you know, that might explain why I thought it looked like a patch. Where's the screwdriver? It's lead. That's what's going on over here. That's never going to work because that's lead. Ignore my hammer idea. Yeah, it's lead all the way up. Well, I mean, up here is just paint, but yep, that's all lead. You can see where my scratches start and stop really hard. All that's lead. But the good news here, well, you know, I've gone and scratched it with a fucking screwdriver. But anyways, the good news here is that it's not peeling up. Down here a little bit maybe, but it's not peeling up, which means that it could be sanded down because it's adhered to the metal well and there's no rust behind it. So instead of, rebondoing, and then scratches aren't that bad. Instead of rebondoing this, we'll just kind of flatten that out properly and then put Bondo on it. But there's a whole mess of stuff going on in here we're gonna have to sort out. First gonna get that out. Alright, so an interesting development here. Right around here, obviously, I saw this. I was like, oh, let's take a look, see how bad it is. Taking this back, and I'm noticing this is some gummy stuff. It's gumming up the little, disc thing over here. Let's see. It's coming up this thing, and it's not really coming up like it does. It's not very well, not like Bondo. So this must be some sort of strange plastic sort of filler. I don't know. I've never worked with it before, but I don't like how it comes out. That's for sure. But oh yeah, it seems to be a pretty good dent or something up inside of here, and I can feel there's a little drip over on this side. Now that I'm looking at it, I feel like this whole particular area, I might even be able to find another seam somewhere. I think he's got this weird filler in it. That's alright. Okay, well, I got impatient, a little bit nervous, and just had to know, how bad are these sills? So, I removed all of them. This is all fiberglass. And you can see the extent of the butchery here, especially in this piece. So, yeah, he's got some fiberglass he laid down. It looks like a little bit of Bondo is coming down over here. More fiberglass, and more fiberglass. That piece there that I just put on the ground came from right here, right where you kind of expect it to be super rusty. He's got some metal mesh here, I'm assuming, to hold the Bondo in place. So, the rest of this is probably gone too. And then obviously, I mean, look at this. This is pretty bad. Down better here. Yeah, the sills are gone, to say the least. There is no sills left to speak of. Yeah. Let's see, where's my prodder, my broker screwdriver? Where did I just friggin' have that thing? Put it down somewhere in my back pocket. That's right, that's where I put it. Okay, so the last registered owner told me he drove this car to Alaska on the unpaved Alaskan highway. So obviously lots of mud. He said it got bogged down a whole bunch of times, and adding to the rust problem. But all this dirt in here is probably Alaskan highway mud and dirt, and I think that's just kind of cool. Oh, my finger's in the way. And I just think that's kind of cool. This mud has been in here for who knows how long. And now as I pick it out, it finally ends its journey in my yard. Yeah, so that's going to require quite the effort, quite the amount of work to get that back together. It's enough where I'm going to consider looking into see if you can buy new sills for this or not. We'll find out. If not, there's more sill to work with than I had imagined. I thought it would be worse. What do you mean you thought it'd be worse? Well, I didn't expect to have anything to work with. So this has the general shape. That helps a lot. I can see how it went together. We'll probably have to cut back pretty far. But if I can keep this shape, I've already got... Stop moving the camera so much. I've already got the shape. That's just super important. If you got the shape, from there it's just time. Just time consuming. But if you've got the shape, it's not so bad because you can make it up as you go. Well, I think it's kind of weird. I'm not sure if he was trying to etch the surface to get the fiberglass to stick to it better. It didn't do a very good job, but you can see all these scratches. Just someone took a screwdriver and just scratched the shit out of it. I'm assuming to get the fiberglass to stick. But I mean, up here, fucking solid. It's just down here, there's literally nothing. Oh boy. Yeah. Pretty bad. Like this piece here, this was the front piece. It just came off in one go. But I mean, you know, I don't see that as unrepairable. A lot of work? Yeah, a lot of work. Will it ever look factory? Not with my skill set. I am not that much of a metal working body guy. I think I can get it to look way better. I mean, you know, you can't get any worse, right? I can make it look a lot better. I can make it functional again. And luckily it's at the bottom of the sill, so no one will ever see it if I kind of butcher it a little bit. Butcher in the sense of it doesn't look nice, but we're going to make it structurally sound. However we go about it, we're going to make it structurally sound there. That is a part of the structure. Even though it does have its own frame rails, it does have that as part of the structure of the car. So it is rather important that we make sure that that is structurally safe again. But yeah, there's not much left of them. It really isn't. And then over here, I punched out that piece of Bondo, and you know, it's just a big hole. It's about as big as we'd expect it to be. And yeah, there's that. So I haven't done the other side yet. I'd imagine I'm going to see a whole lot of the same. Maybe worse, actually. Just opening the door, that looks worse. But it's okay. Like I said, we have something to work with. On the other side, we have, you know, what we're looking for. Look at that. More lead loading, I'm sure, right here. It's really not that bad, though. Like, I mean, the sills are totally gone. Yeah, there's no question about that. There is no salvaging the sills to the point where, you know, you could just throw fiberglass over them. Other than for looks, if you did the fiberglass well, it wouldn't look terrible. Yeah. Well, we keep working. We'll get to it all eventually.